Hello everyone, hope you're all having a wonderful day. Originally, I had planned today to be about 2009's Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins, as lately I've been taking a look at the live-action Scooby-Doo movies. However, considering the popularity around the disaster of HBO's new Velma series, I decided to change it up today. So we're going to be looking at a forgotten and actually pretty wacky installment into the franchise, 2018's Daphne and Velma. Admittedly, I had never heard of this movie until just recently it popped up while I was doing research for Scooby-Doo 2002. I was surprised and very excited to see what this had to offer. I found rewatching the original live-action Scooby-Doos to be a lot better than I expected, with the insane performances, character writing, action sequences, and the god-awful CGI. How could you not enjoy them? Daphne and Velma was also fun, but for a different reason. I would classify this as so bad it's good, for all the right reasons. Upon doing research, it all started to make sense. During my watch through, I couldn't help but think, man, this feels like I'm watching one of those Disney Channel exclusive movies. Little to my knowledge, I basically was. This movie was a straight to DVD release and apparently filmed in 17 or 18 days. Props to them because what they set out to do was make a short, fun film to empower women and young girls. Obviously this movie is made for kids and that's the clear target audience, but that did not stop me from having an amazing time with this. Especially when I seen this was a goddamn prequel to Scooby-Doo 2002. That's right, all the wackiness of Daphne and Velma from the beloved live-action franchise started here. So without further ado, let's get into it.
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? I'm mopping.
That's what they all say.
There are good points to the film. I was getting major Halloween Disney Channel vibes from this, and that's a good thing, because I love the Disney Channel Halloween specials. There was fire music that reminded me of Gravity Falls, and it felt like a fun mystery. I mean, that's the basis for Scooby-Doo right there. However, they also met the basis for being a Disney Channel movie, so you know it was a good time. The writing is of course not a strong suit of the movie. The characters? Trash.
Look at him.
The dialogue? Trash.
That's so cool. Isn't she so cool?
You're so cool.
The action? Trash. But it all adds to the enjoyment of the film. The plot revolves around a mystery at Ridge Valley High. Ridge Valley High is a futuristic, high-tech, elitist school, which already makes no sense considering this is a prequel to Scooby-Doo the franchise, which takes place in 2002. So why is there a high-tech school with stuff that doesn't even exist now? Anyways, Daphne and Velma are online buddies, but that changes when Daphne says that her and her family are moving to Ridge Valley so that they can be best friends in real life. Velma, however, is totally not feeling it, and Daphne's like, what the hell? That's like half the movie. Velma's just a complete dickhead to everyone. And in the grander scheme of the movie, it makes sense, I guess. I mean, she's trying to be reclusive while she solves this mystery surrounding the school, and she doesn't want Daphne to get hurt, so she tries to push her away. This is typical generic story writing, but usually they'll have the person in Velma's role show some remorse or feel bad for what they do, so that you feel sympathy for the character because they're doing this in order to protect others. They don't give Velma any scenes to portray that she feels this way though, so she just comes across as a stone-cold, mean-spirited person to her best friend and everyone else around her. Her being mean does lead to some fun stuff though, like this atrocious lab fight scene.
You can't wear the same headband for more than an hour? Carol said it last!
Daphne and Velma obviously reconcile, but they do it in the weirdest way possible. They're sitting on a couch that is sure to create a lawsuit. For some reason, in this high school, there's a moving couch that forces students to basically lay on top of each other when they're arguing.
No! Drop it! Oh, you're on my hair! You're on my hair! Well, you're spitting at me!
So Daphne and Velma make up, and it's mystery solving time. The conundrum at this school is oddly similar to the problem in Scooby-Doo 2002. Basically, all the smart kids are turning into Alpha Chad meatheads and flunking out. While I was watching, I originally thought the plot was going to be all about the jocks of the school taking the nerds and turning them into zombies to get good grades, but unfortunately that went out the window when the top Chad of the school got zombified too. I will say the Chads were probably my favorite part of the movie though.
I just want to be like a really good dad, you know?
Sometimes I wish you were my dad.
There's also like a bunch of goofy subplots in this movie. Like the fact that Daphne's dad has contrived every success in her life to this point, and I mean everything. Her grades, her outfits, food, like down to the smallest shit. She's basically a bot.
About school in Tokyo.
I was translating everything you said into Japanese. And your chopsticks were secretly tiny forks.
And don't even get me started on the royalty-free pump-up playlist, which he also contrived.
Turn on my pump-up playlist. Turn up the beat. All right, let's do this.
We also have the school principal, who is Velma's aunt, I guess? They basically just threw glasses on her and said, yeah, they're related.
Sorry, Aunt Piper.
You related? Oh yes, I see it.
No, you cannot. Oh my god. The duo continues to solve the mystery. They find some spooky locker where the students have been disappearing, and they get followed by a ghoul. But look at the way it moves. Like, dog, I could not stop laughing, and we even get a classic runaround with the characters after. So then we find the back rooms, and the ghoul chases them around and yada yada yada. And then the ghoul is revealed to be Daphne's dad. Yeah, I mean, who cares, man? They skip right past it. So we just move on to the climax of the film. Let me preface before we get to this quickly. The owner of the school is some rich dude who everyone has been simping over. He was briefly mentioned like twice, and we see him in one scene leading up to this point. But immediately upon hearing about this dude, I was certain he was the villain. He just had classic Disney Channel villain written all over him. So Daphne and Velma break into this dude's office building to bring an end to the mystery, and he's the villain. But not really. He's actually a projection of a Japanese model? We then get the worst action sequence I have ever seen. This is by far my favorite scene in the movie because holy god, it is atrocious. But here it is. I saved the best part for last. Knowing this was a prequel to the Scooby-Doo franchise, it all made sense. It wouldn't be a part of the franchise without a completely batshit wacky villain plot, and this might take the cake. In the first Scooby-Doo, we had the Scrappy Rex revenge plot. In the second Scooby-Doo, we had the Jonathan Jacobo woman imposter revenge plot. And in Daphne and Velma, we have the child imposter villain plot. So let me try to break this shit down to the best of my ability, because it's wild. It's revealed that the real mastermind behind the Chad zombies is this chick. Her name is Carol, and we've seen her like a few times throughout the movie. She's like the typical preppy do-good girl, and she's also the senior advisor at Ridge Valley. However, she's not actually a teenage student, but rather a 26-year-old grown-ass woman kidnapping students. Yeah, so her motive, you might be asking, well, that's the best part. Carol was a kid genius and made a revolutionary phone, but apparently she was too young to get any company to take it as a product. So what does she do? Of course, she does the obvious option for anyone. She makes a fake person and creates a billion-dollar company under his name, then decides it's too hard to keep coming up with inventive ideas and says, you know what guys? There's a lot of smart kids. I'm gonna make an elitist school so I can kidnap the top students and steal their brain power.
Why did you do it? And how? How? Unmoisturized keeps the skin young.
After seeing that, I decided I love this movie, and it absolutely works as a prequel to the franchise. In all reality, this movie was a mess, but it was fun. It was a goofy, corny Disney Channel type of movie, and it was never going to be anything amazing. However, I think there's plenty of wackiness to keep you entertained, and the fact that this movie is only an hour long makes it so much more enjoyable. You can never really get bored since the plot moves so fast, and if you're going in for the amusement of it all, you'll have a good time. I hope you had a good time looking at Daphne and Velma with me, because I had a fantastic time. This will probably be the end of my look back at the live-action Scooby-Doo movies, at least for now. Who knows, maybe in the future I'll check out the last two, but this upcoming week I'm very excited as we'll be taking a look at the Harry Potter franchise in anticipation for Hogwarts Legacy. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.